Forever. Dog.
This may come as a surprise, but my family is ready to get out of the house. So I did a search on the Verbo app. They've got vacation homes anywhere your family wants to go. We found the perfect beach house that was just a drive away. It has an outdoor kitchen, a pool, and a game room for the kids, so we can really unwind and relax. Check out the Verbo app for whatever kind of vacation your family needs. That's Verbo, VRBO.com. Your together awaits.
Well, folks, another episode, another entire year. Happy New Year. It's January 11th, and you know my motto, never too late. I always say that. It's Michelle Collins. Happy New Year, folks. We did it. We made it. I am back in New York City, people. I was in the UK for 2 months. And when shit started to hit the fan, I bet there's like an English word for fan, like hit the blades. I just said, you know what? I said, you know what? I got to get out of here. And so I did. And now I'm back in New York. We'll talk all about that. But before we get into just everything happening and the world burning, I have CNN on mute just in case some shit goes down. Let me, of course, welcome my phenomenally handsome, talented, entrepreneurial co-host. He's in plaid and olive. He looks handsome as ever. I like that I never talk about your brain, just your looks. That should make you feel good.
That's not, yeah, that does make me feel good.
Yeah. I want to be objectified so much. It's Dan Acton, obviously.
The brain
Dan
is negligible.
The what is?
The brain is negligible.
Oh, Brett, my dream in life is to be objectified in a good way. Like, I just want people to be like, God, totally. You're so fucking hot. There's no way you're funny. I'm like, what? Thank you. I want men to say that I'm too hot to be funny. That's genuinely, and only men. I'm kidding, anybody. Go on.
I've always thought you're too hot to be funny. I don't know what that means even for me. But anyway, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm good.
How does it feel to be back? Yeah.
You know, it's really funny. It's okay to be back. So first of all, before anyone comes for me, I have followed every rule, every quarantine rule. In fact, I changed my flight. I was going to leave yesterday initially, changed my flight to Friday because the flight yesterday I felt like was too full. And coming back on Friday, literally there were 2 other people in my section. It was empty. Did I send you the picture? It was a ghost town.
No.
It was so empty, which was lovely. I watched some wonderful films or films, as they say in the UK. I watched, I started with Pedro Almodovar, because, you know, I'm very, do you say Almodovar? How do I say it like Hilaria Baldwin?
Yeah.
I watched Pedro Almodovar, his movie all about Mi Madre, and it was actually pretty good. Have you ever seen it?
I think I've seen it like a long time ago.
Well, because it came out, I think, over 20 years ago, and I had never seen it. It was good. I mean, listen, it was very dated in certain ways, and it felt like not of today's time. But if you put your mind, I mean, when you think about that movie coming out over 20 years ago, it's groundbreaking in many ways, you know, because it's, you know, I enjoyed it, actually. I had my mask on, obviously, the whole flight, but I did lift it to chug wine. I lifted it. I mean, there was nobody around me. I lifted it. I chugged my wine. I got tested 2 days before I left, negative. Oh, then I watched Quick Change, the Bill Murray movie with Gina Davis and Randy Quaid.
Oh, wait, that's really good, isn't it?
It's hilarious. The ending, it's a bit stupid. There's a couple of things I want to point out. My entire life, even though obviously I have a perm erection for Stanley Tucci, who doesn't? I have eyeballs and a brain, right?
Yeah.
I have always somehow associated, and I don't know why, maybe because they're both like Italian looking, even though I think Tony Shalhoub is like Middle Eastern. I've always associated Tony Shalhoub and Stanley Tucci with each other. Is that crazy to say?
I kind of get that. They seem about the same height. They're kind of...
they look alike a bit.
Yeah, and they both have like a swarthy...
Yeah,
kind of.
Very swarthy. Well, what blew my mind is that they're both in Quick Change. And so I wondered, because I remember seeing that movie when I was little, did I in fact conflate them from a young age and just couldn't place it? You know, it's not a good story. The point is I enjoyed that. Then I watched a Christmas movie that everybody on gay Twitter loves. And I remember seeing it in the theater and like not liking it because it features a very tightly wound Sarah Jessica Parker.
I hate this movie. I don't.
Do you know which movie I'm going to say?
Yes. Yeah,
Wait, really? You don't like it? The Family Stone?
I just watched it this year for the first time.
Wait a second. Okay, the timing of this could not be better because I'm not joking you. Much like the now classic Notting Hill and Love Actually, which I remember both seeing in the theater and like walking out of the theater, more so with Love Actually, being like, what the fuck did I just pay to see? Like I was seething.
Refund, actually.
No. And you know that I didn't for Love Actually. I remember seeing it in Connecticut, but like I have gotten refunds for bad movies. Maybe twice in my life, but I have. But I remember walking out being like, what was that? And now it doesn't matter what time it's on. I will cancel plans to watch Love Actually, even though it's literal garbage. Yeah. I walked out of the Family Stone and I was like, what a fucking horrible movie. Like hated it. And then all of these like funny gay guys that I love were like, oh my God, my favorite holiday movie, this and that. So it was on the flight. Funny thing about flying now is there are no new releases because there are no fucking new releases.
Right. Yeah. They're not going to release Tenet or whatever.
Yeah, new releases. It's like trading places. I'm like, huh? Yeah. You know, they old. So in the meantime, I was like, okay, I'll watch Family Stone. And I got to tell you something. I don't know if it was the altitude or the wine or the fact that I was like kind of in a sensitive place because I was leaving a place that I love.
Yeah.
I wept at the end. I openly wept. I enjoyed it so much. What didn't you like about it?
She is so horrible. They're all just like annoyingly
She's
bad.
Unbearable. Yeah.
The charades scene really bothers me.
Okay, I get it.
Okay, because what's her name is not only humiliating Sarah Jessica Parker, she's also dragging the other guy into it to make her seem like she made a racist remark against this.
Rachel McAdams, for those who haven't seen the film, they're playing charades. Now, I should add, Sarah Jessica Parker, it was sort of the part she was born to play as like a 98-pound, ballerina-bodied, like tightly wound. I don't know her personally. I respect the hell out of her. It's the first time I've ever said that. And God, I just respect the hell out of her. But
yeah.
But I got to tell you, she's so good in it that she's like better in it than she's ever been as Carrie or as anybody, that I'm like, is this actually her? Like, it's like someone casting me to play like know-it-all giant, like, complaining, but charming. The podcast stops recording, but charming. Hello. Lady. I call myself on my serious show CBS's The Good Karen because I'm like Karen, but for good. Like I like fight for the good things in life, That's
funny.
It's true. Like I like fight for those who don't, I use my privilege for good instead of for bad. But
that's funny.
In the meantime, but watching her, she has this tick, for those who haven't seen it, where she goes, like she's like so with the throat. Wait.
Yep.
She's dating Dermot Mulroney, who I got to tell you something, because I've always had an H on for Dermot.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how you feel about him, Dan.
I mean, yeah, he's okay. I mix him up with Dermot.
With Dylan McDermott.
Yeah.
I am 100% in the Dermot Mulroney camp. If it came down to pick one for life, Dylan, I'm sure a lovely guy, just not for me. Dermot, because Dermot is like hot. I'll tell you what he has that a lot of guys don't have. He's so stupid looking. He's so hot and dumb looking that when he shows any sign of intelligence, it's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, you're also, because he looks like a dumb, like Guido, like Joey on Friends. Like, he's sort of like a slightly better looking Matt LeBlanc, Yeah. And then in the whole movie, he has a turtleneck on, and if
the
there's
turtleneck is,
it's so good.
This movie is so silly.
You don't like his turtlenecks in it?
Because he always has it. It's just so corny. I don't know.
If you guys could see my face right now,
I know
my lips are like Rolling Stone sized. They're pulled all the way to the back of my head. You know what? Enough men. I'll tell you two things, men. If there are any straight men listening, of which I know there are some. Hello, by the way, welcome. And by the way, what did I say about Sarah Jessica? I got a lot of respect for you. I got a lot of respect.
You respect the hell out of him.
I just respect the hell out of you. That is from a movie, and I can't remember which one. Anyway, two things enough straight men don't wear: turtlenecks.
Yeah.
I don't care if you are a big man, a husky, or thin. There is, and I love me in a turtleneck. I mean, I just am so pro turtleneck, and I don't understand why more people aren't. Number one, Dan, if you put a turtleneck on,
I know.
I would feel uncomfortable talking to you. I wouldn't know how to address you because I'd be
That's
like,
why
I feel
don't.
confused. Smart.
Yeah, no, I dressed down for the podcast actually because I don't want to distract you.
He tucked. Wait, now that I'm looking, did you tuck the turtleneck part in?
It's all
Anyway, turtlenecks and velvet. I love a man in velvet. If you're a man and you have a black turtleneck, like, or navy cashmere with like a velvet pant, I mean, it doesn't literally get hotter than that. That is, or a velvet jacket. It's such a good look. Hey, Midnight Snackers, who is looking for a new and wonderful way to try new and wonderful wines? If that's you, well, I have an answer. It's time to check out Bright Cellars. Bright Cellars is the wine subscription service that helps you find wines you love while making wine more accessible to everyone. Whether you're a new wine drinker or have been up to the task for years, Bright Cellars will pair you with unique wines based on your taste profile. On their website, they use a 7-question quiz to match you with personalized wines to curate an exclusive experience. By taking their 30-second quiz, Bright Cellars will pair you with 6 unique and personalized wines that are delivered right to your doorstep. Bright Cellars works with their in-house sommeliers to source wines from all over the world. They source wines from Spain, Portugal, Australia, South Africa, and so many other countries. Each box is sure to have a new wine you have not tried. Bright Cellars allows you to skip the store while still bringing personalized wines right to your door. And if you don't like a bottle, Bright Cellars will work with you to include a replacement bottle in your next box and adjust your taste profile. And guess what? For Midnight Snack listeners, we're giving you 50% off of your first 6 bottles from Bright Cellars by going to brightcellars.com/midnight snack. That's Bright Cellars, CELLARS.com/midnight snack. You can take their 7-question quiz to get your wine matches and receive 50% off of your first 6 bottle order. It's a great deal to try new wines from all over the world. So head to brightcellars.com/midnight snack for 50% off of your first Bright Cellars box. Hey friends, before I dive into this ad, I want to thank you guys so much for your support, not only with listening to the episodes, but listening to the ads. Ads are how we make this show, so I really appreciate you tuning in. I also want to thank BetterHelp for their continued support of Midnight Snack. BetterHelp is professional counseling done securely online. They match you with a licensed therapist that you can start talking to in under 48 hours, and the service is available for clients worldwide. So if one of your 2021 goals is focusing on your mental health, why not check out BetterHelp? You can speak to your therapist in a safe and distanced way over video and or phone sessions. Plus, it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available if you need it. It's important to BetterHelp that they make great therapeutic matches. But if you feel you and your therapist are just not clicking, not only is it okay, it's free and easy to change counselors. BetterHelp just wants to make this process as comfortable as it can be. So visit betterhelp.com/midnight snack. That's better HELP, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. If you are a therapist or you know a therapist that's looking for work. And of course, we have a special offer for our listeners. Get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/midnight snack. That's 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/midnight snack.
That's like a Queer Eye tip from the 90s is to wear something that somebody wants to reach out and touch. Like wear something.
Seriously. There should be just...
All right.
But they're right. When you meet someone in a cashmere sweater and you like touch their arm or whatever, it's like your body, your brain has been trained to go cashmere. Like you have to say the word cashmere when you touch it. You can't just touch it and not acknowledge what the person is wearing.
You're right.
That is why it's worth the money.
I think you're right.
You want to know a secret about me, Dan? And I'm not done delving into the family stone. I didn't think we would be doing this. I thought we'd be talking about, I don't know, the fact that the cops visited me Saturday, but we'll get there. But before I left for London, I had ordered a shit ton of bras from Marks and Spencer. Now, you know, there's the new strain. That's another one of my many nicknames. CBS is the good Karen, and the new strain. The new strain.
The new strain of old Karen. I don't know what that means.
New Adventures of Old Christine. I got it. Right. You can't get that one past me. So I went to return all these like pretty hideous bras. And as I was walking through, because every store in London is closed, every clothing store is closed, but M&S, as they call it, because there's also a food hall within it, the clothing part is open. So it's like, oh, you know me, love a hack. I love a hack. So I went to return these bras, and as I was walking to the checkout, I see this black men's cashmere turtleneck, and I'm like, what's this? And I walked over to it. I walked over to it and I just, I did like the 2-finger, like cashmere touch. And then I looked at it. It was a men's size 4X. And if you don't think that I snatched that shit up and that it's sitting in my kitchen, I bought it.
You bought it?
Yeah. It's gorgeous on me. It's like, it looks like an oversized Zara women's sweater. Like it does not look like a men's sweater. It's to die for.
Right. No, you can do that. Yeah. Yeah. If you can like wear like a big oversized, that's nice.
With a leather legging, that sweater, forget it.
Yeah.
Back to the FS. So Sarah Jessica is in the charade scene, just to tie it all back. Rachel McAdams is like 8 years old in it. She's like a real bitch. Yeah. And I guess the clue was like Black Beauty or something with the word black in it. I forget what it was. And
yeah, something like that.
SJP, like as she's thinking, and she's so tightly wound, you know, when people are so thin that their fingers just look like skeleton fingers, like she is real. Like, I don't think there are nubs at the end. It's just like bone points, you know?
I mean, all respect to her, but yeah.
No, listen. Hey. I respect the hell out of her. But she does have bone point fingers. It's so stupid. Anyway, so she kind of points, just like without even realizing it, at the one black actor who's in like arguably the whitest family on the planet, although they are quite liberal, almost like painfully so in the sense that, is it a Nancy Meyers movie? It must be.
No,
it's not. Interesting.
So. I don't think so. Yeah.
They really, in a nice way, though, I think, go out of their way to show how accepting and loving the family is, except to everyone but SJP.
Right.
So, in the meantime, she points, and then there's like this big racial controversy. Like, you pointed to him for the word black, and it's like a whole thing.
Right, which is embarrassing to her, but which is mortifying to her, but also drags this other like. Member of the family into it in a way that sucks. Like, I didn't like that. I don't know. I thought they behaved really...
They were horrible to her.
Just like aliens. I don't know. And then the dinner scene is really bad when she's just homophobic. Like, it's not even like stumbling over words. It's just like, oh no, like gay people are weird and don't you wish you didn't have one?
She's profoundly homophobic in this dinner scene where she's like,
right.
I'm going to try to impersonate her. God, I really let me make my bones thinner. She goes... She's just like, you know, but don't you think it would be easier for them if they were normal? I mean, that was not bad.
That's pretty good.
It was pretty good. So that happens. In the meantime, Luke Wilson, who has never been bigger dicked in any part. I mean, he is just swinging for the fences in his sweatpants in this movie. He is so hot in this film, in this cinematic masterpiece. He is so hot. He's so charming in it. I'm literally watching it. I'm like, this better be a flotation device because me soaky down there. Oh, we're making a water landing. You know what I mean? Oh, we're about to have a water landing. Me soaky down there. I was very, very aroused. He's so good in it. And why he would even like her makes zero sense.
Nothing makes sense. Why would he like her? Why does the fiance immediately fall in love with her sister?
Well, because Claire Danes, who plays the sister, shows up and she's like... Yeah, I mean, she's half the age of Sarah Jessica Parker. Sarah Jessica Parker next to Claire Danes looks like her mother, not her sister, let's be honest. And Claire is she's in her like my so-called life phase physically. So she's still like very wide-eyed and cute, you know. It makes sense.
But to immediately fall for somebody's sister that you're about to marry seems sudden.
That's how love works. I don't know why you're arguing. Like, that is just how love works. But if you don't think, I won't spoil the end, but if you don't think that by the end... Mine eyes were misty.
Yeah, the eyes are misty at the end. I know why. But I also think like it's a big airplane factor as well.
Oh, airplane factor was 99% of me loving it. I genuinely, I'm like, do you know what I watched and loved? Shrek Forever After. I mean, I was sobbing.
I wasn't going to mention this, but like, we don't have to talk about it, but is this a sign of depression that this weekend I watched every version of King Kong?
So I got in from England. That was, by the way, not an edit. By the way, that was what I'd like to call a live, seamless transition. Oh my God. Well, I'm having the best time with you, Dan. I missed you. Anyway, so No, you know what's funny is that the Naomi Watts version came on like, I had like 8 channels in my hotel, and I watched the first like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, this is legitimately like getting like in Back to the Future when like the truck of fertilizer got dumped on him. I'm like, this is what for my eyes and brain. I was like, I'm literally like ensconced in shit watching this movie. I had to stop it. Which was your favorite, Dan, for those who care?
The first one was so good, actually, that
really?
I really enjoyed it. Like, I would love to see it in a big theater. It was just so much fun. Like, King Kong is just constantly beating up stuff. It's a big special effects extravaganza.
Yeah, sure.
I like that. The 70s one wasn't as bad as people say. But I'd never seen it before. And I like the
you
Jack
liked
Black
the Naomi Watts one?
Yeah.
All right. So, Danny boy, first of all, Danny, before we get into my little UK situation, how is Mask Motel doing?
Oh, Mask Motel is doing great. I sold about 100 so far.
Very nice.
And yeah, thanks to everybody that ordered one. I hope you like it. And now, I just have to I'm getting into stores or trying.
Are you?
To.
Oh my God. Okay.
Doing other stuff. Sorry.
I like to do a little plug. So go to Mask Motel. If you want to support a man who literally is claiming to be depressed because he watched every iteration of the most famous gorilla movie this weekend, beeline to maskmotel.com. Yeah. Maskmotel.com. Just, support your local artisans.
Give me something else to do.
No, literally give him something else to do. Like, let him get his hands a working because his brain's a collapsing. So I got back Friday. Something interesting happened. Interesting. Yeah, I think it was interesting, actually. And Dan, I don't think I told you this, right? I think we were going to talk about it, and then I said save it for the.
To, and then,
yeah. So basically, I was in the UK for 2 months, intended for a work trip, which because lockdown happened so soon after I landed, got postponed and then just got postponed forever. I wasn't sad to have gone. I actually love London. It's my favorite city in the world. So I was more than grateful to be there. And I absolutely followed protocol. I was the only mask wearer in the entirety of the UK. So just in case people are going to come for me, just know that I really was very careful. So the way that it works coming back, and I never got it, and I tested negative every other week. I'd go get tested. It was always negative. So I really followed the rules. Okay. So in order to fly back, you have to get tested 72 hours before your flight, within 72 hours, PCR test, which is the good one. And then you either have to quarantine for 14 days or if you get tested 4 days after you land and you're negative, you're free, which I think is amazing.
Yeah,
great.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I'm going to go. I already have my appointment tomorrow at 4:20 to get tested. So we're going to smoke up and get tested. In the meantime, I land on the flight. I go to Global Entry, which, to me is the closest I feel to celebrity. Like Global Entry to me is, I don't know how to put it. It feels
so good.
It feels so fucking good. It really is like the first time American technology, like something in America feels modern.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. Like it almost always works.
So I crouch down, lower my mask to get photographed. I don't need to tell you. My joke is that I look like Fat Nell. I crouched, not Carter, for the record. Crouch down, lower the mask, snaps me, and I get a piece of paper. Usually it says, when did you land? Like, ask you questions here. Piece of paper gets spit out with my picture on it with a big old fat black X over it.
What?
I'm just like, that can't be good.
What does that mean?
Wait, so I go to this little cop and I go, me. I was like, me? What happened to me? He was like, oh, you gotta go in line, see the lady at 26. So I go stand by 26. This little lady, all uniformed officers, is like behind her little glass, customs or whatever they are. She takes my immigration control, actually. She takes my thing and she's clicking. Okay, why were you there? Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You've been double flagged. You need to go to the back office.
What does that mean?
You're asking me what it means? I literally have no clue. So I now am getting escorted by, I must say that the escorts were all hot. Like this little guy, I don't know what was going on with him. He was tiny, very cute, masked, takes me to this little back office where there's like 40 people all seated almost one on top of another, by the way. Okay. What? Are there to get like double scanned. So he takes my passport. I'm there. And then I see all the flight attendants from my flight. Connie, Susan, this French lady. I was like, Connie. I went over. The thing with me is people love me. Like the thing with me is, you know what? They respect the hell out of me. And I can't. Connie, she was German. She was so nice. She was like, oh, hello. On the flight, she was the one who brought me my wine. And she was like, do you get the survey? Like then tomorrow, when you get the survey from United? I went, yeah. I said, I'll say very nice things about you. I said that, I'm so eager to please. I was like, anything you want. She goes, will you please mention that all the red wine they sent us came frozen? And they can barely, she was like, and I said, really, you want me to say? Because I don't care. I said, I don't mind. I'll drink ice cold fucking wine, whatever. She was like, it's the only way they will listen. You have to put in a note that the red wine came frozen. Side note, don't know what made me think of this. Did you see the pictures of Liam Neeson pissing himself?
I sent those to you.
That's right. By the way, Dan, that reminds me of years ago in the 70s. My mom ran into a woman in the street the woman goes, oh my God, did you hear like Brian died? And my mom went, you know him through me. Like she got so mad. I'm like, the guy's dead. Anyway, that's right. You did send this to me. Those pictures are forever burned in my brain. What do you think it is drinking? It's got to be alcoholism.
I guess. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, because he was always like coming out late at night. He had to be stumbling out of a bar, right?
It's such an Irish stereotype to be like tall with a big dick and then constantly pissing yourself. Like just having dark khaki stains.
Yeah.
Crude, maybe.
I'm like, I'm like into it. It's fine. No, it's great.
You know what? You know how I feel about him. You want to say it with me? I respect the hell out of him. Oh. So long story short, I'm there with Connie and they were talking about how they get drug tested all the time. I actually had a great time watching. It was fun seeing everybody slowly walk in, just so miserable. Like that I love people watching so much.
Yeah.
Like it's my number one sport. And so even though I probably got the virus in this room, and by the way, they were like, oh, sit over there. And I was like, hell fucking no. I stood in the corner away from everyone because I was like, I'm not going to sit on top of these people that are all international travelers, including myself,
Right.
So stupid. So anyway, this guy comes out, my cop came out and he was like, you Michelle Collins? I was like, yes, officer. He goes, and why were you there? And I explained to him everything. He goes, all right, I'll be right back. He like left again. I was like, I hope I'm not, like, it's scary. Dealing with the police is scary. And especially now when like, all this shit is happening. Maybe 5 years ago, my privilege would have blinded me. But now I'm like,
you just never, you never
don't
know what's
fuck
going
with
to
me,
happen.
fellas. Now I'm like, I will protest again. So then he walked out and he was like, you clear to go, ma'am. And I went, really? I go, why did I get flagged? He goes, there are a lot of Michelle Collinses out there. I bet someone had like, and I was like, okay. That's what he said. What? He was like, yeah, there are a lot of people with your name. I was like, all right. So they let me go. They let me go. I got my stuff. I got a call from the NYPD sheriff's office from a woman named Jen. Shout out. She was so sweet. We became the best of friends. I was like out of my mind. Everybody in New York is so friendly. Coming from England, where I realized people are just like, some of them are nice actually, but it's different. Like New Yorkers are warm. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
There's a warmth that they don't have
like
in England.
Connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out my fellow New Yorkers. Anyway, came home. So Saturday, I'm braless. What else is new? I've been home since I got in Friday. So it's Monday now. I have not left. Tomorrow I'm going to go get tested. But anyway, Saturday, I'm braless. I'm in a tunic, some old underwear, no makeup. I'm fat nelling. And I hear a bang, bang, bang on my door. I'm like, what the fuck kind of SS shit? Yeah, I put my robe on, long boobs, my big naturals, just hanging out. Put my robe on.
Full Mrs. Roper.
True, like full monster mode, like King Kong 5, the new King Kong, literally. Did you see my Nest Cam footage? That was the latest release. So I go to the door and these two, like one kind of hot cop, I don't know, I'm all like horned up. Anyway, two cops are standing there and I'm like, can I help you? And I get and they go, ma'am, yes, did you travel internationally? La, la, la. I was like, They hand me this packet.
What is that?
I'm going to read it to you in a minute. They hand me this packet and they go, you're not allowed to leave either in 14 days or 4 days. I'm like, you got it. Like, it's so stupid. Like, obviously I'm going to get tested. And the only thing I could see why people wouldn't is if they can't afford to get the PCR test or if they're sick. I'll tell you this. If I had like a fever, then obviously I don't leave the house. Right.
Right.
But I really am following protocol because what if I do have it? I mean, you never know. Like, God forbid.
Do it.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, I'm going to read this. I read this on my Sirius show, so forgive me if you're a double dipper, but I just need to get this out of the way. So Governor Cuomo, who I got to tell you something, I used to be quite hot on, not as hot anymore. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He's fucking everything up somehow. Why is that?
They're all fucking things up.
You agree, right?
Yeah. Because they, like him and de Blasio just can't agree on anything, and it's more important to fight about shit. And
we haven't even brought up what happened last week. I actually don't even want to Sully Sullenberger this podcast.
I wish Sully would. Is he alive? I don't know. I haven't seen him.
He's living. Yeah, I've heard he's not the nicest guy. Anyway, he can land a plane though. I'll tell you that. So, and you want to know what? I'm taking how long. Okay. I'm having so much fun. Anyway, I also have such a huge lip sit that I had to cover my face with so much makeup to cover it. I mean, you can see it a little
hint of it.
It's so big without makeup. It's like a big red circle. Okay. One, to obtain necessary medical care. These are the only reasons you can leave your quarantine. Okay. To get medical care, fine. Right. If you're a first responder or essential worker, I'm going to read number 3 last. Number 4 is to leave New York, meaning if you have like a connecting flight or something, then obviously you don't have to stay to do that. But if you come back to New York before the end of the 10-day period, then you have to. And then, are you ready for this? If you're a member of a professional sports team or associated with such a team and traveled for a professional sports activity. So they're allowing athletes to come in here without quarantining so that they can play their fucking games. That pissed me off. Yeah.
How does that work?
You tell me. I mean, I assume they get tested, but that's why half of them are getting sick.
I had no idea about that. That's really bizarre.
I don't think anybody does. That's why I want to bring it up here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
See, I'm a journalist. People don't really, dare I say, people don't respect the hell out of me, and they should. Like, I feel like I'm bringing...
Not in that field, yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's so sweet to say. Anyway, so long story short, that was it. But I'm very thrilled to be back. And by the way, our guest this week is one of my favorite people, Bevy Smith. She's going to be with us in just a little bit. She's a riot and incredible and so exciting. But I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. Dan, did you have a nice New Year's? Do you have any resolutions you want to share with us before we go?
I don't have any New Year's resolutions. I did have a great New Year's. I'm thinking of buying property upstate.
Oh, the property. Yeah. If anyone has any property upstate, reach out. Dan at Dan Acton.
Any property brothers out there or sisters.
If any proppy bros or sisses want to get in touch with me for a deal, reach out to me first if it's a deal, and then I'll tell Dan. Dan, I think we should split a piece of property.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think we should split it and
build I think we should build 2 tiny houses.
I was looking at 2 properties, and the at my address, I had 2 choices. It would either be on Gay Street, which is great, or Gun Club Road.
No. Well, that's a movie in the making.
That's the 2 types of, yeah.
That's like you've got mail of property purchasing. Be like, well, he was on Gay Street and she was on Gun Club Road. You can't live on Gun Club Road. I wouldn't feel safe. Listen, we got to go. We have Bevy Smith coming up. Dan Acton, you know I adore you. Follow Dan on Instagram at Dan_Acton. Just search my followers or who I follow because he's right there. And if you want to follow me on Instagram at Mishcall, I always tell people about this podcast. It's 2021. I'm a terrible networker, but I have to just put myself out there. So if you like this show, share it on Instagram, put it in your stories, tag us. Yeah. Would love to see it, right, Dan?
Absolutely.
All right. Love you. Mwah.
All right. Mwah. Bye.
Bye, Dan. Let's bring in Bevy. Hey, Midnight Snackers, are you looking for a great new podcast to check out? Well, I have one, Talking It Out. It's a new podcast from Wondery that's hosted by Bachelor alums Mike Johnson and Bryan Abasolo. Mike and Bryan will talk about love and relationships, and as former Bachelor contestants, they're kind of experts. But they'll also dive into the ins and outs of dating, marriage, family, career, and self-care. They'll have real conversations with actual experts, celebrities, and of course, your favorite Bachelor stars. And nothing is off limits because, as you hear everywhere, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. So Bryan and Mike are up to the task of making us talk it out. Talking It Out is available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can start your free trial of Wondery Plus in the Wondery app to listen ad-free. I've been waiting for this day now. It does feel to me forever. I'm just going to say it. The last time I spoke with my lovely guest today, I want to say was right when I started at Sirius. You came in like years ago.
Yeah. Yes.
which is too long, I think.
Too long. Tragedy.
It is a tragedy, and we're here to discuss that tragedy at length. But she's one of the funniest, one of the most beautiful, and just talented beyond. You can follow her on Twitter and on Instagram at Bevy Smith, but she has a new book out, which, again, the time is here. I so excited about this. It's called Bevelations, Lessons from a Mutha, Auntie, Bestie. It is out today, January 12th, which is so exciting. So you can go right now on Amazon or independent booksellers, order it immediately, pause this show, order it, and come back. And then you'll be happy about that. I want to talk all about it. You also have your show on Sirius, Bevelations, which it's on every day, 8 hours a day. What time is it live?
It's 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on Radio Andy.
On Radio Andy.
Bevy Smith. You have so much. My intro is like 20 minutes. Hi, Bevy.
Hi, my love. I love you, Michelle Collins. And I just have to say, I love seeing your adventures in the world. I love how glamorous you are. And I love that you have really come into yourself, honey, and that folks can't tell you nothing now, which is the way it should be.
You know what? That coming from you really actually means the world, because I've always looked to you as inspiration. I remember even when you came to Sirius that day, you are so confident in who you are and the experiences that have led you to be that person. I want to talk about all of that today, but coming from you really means the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God, look at your glowing. How's your life? Let's talk about, first of all, 2021, Bevy Smith, star. Talk to me. What's going on with you?
Well, we're like 12 days in. Mm-hmm. I've already conquered 2 major birthdays. My mom's 93rd, which was on January 8th, and then my best friend's, which was on the 10th. So I've had a lot of outdoor dining in New York City in the wintertime.
Okay.
So that's been interesting.
The outdoor dining here in the wintertime has me a bit baffled, because it technically is indoor. It's like tent dining.
No. I don't go to the ones that have the tents.
Okay.
I go to a proper, it's all open facing. So I don't go to the ones that they have a little door that you go in and out of and it's all closed in. No, because that's like eating in a tool shed.
Yeah.
No,
when you put it that way, it sounds fun. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but I eat at the ones that like actually have the only protection you have from the elements is you have a roof. Yeah. And you have a side, but the whole entire front of the restaurant, of the dining area, is open. So there's open circulation of airflow. That's the ones I go to.
I'm happy to be back because, I was away for a couple of months. And
yes.
London, the reason why I think the numbers are exploding are, number one, the people are dumber than us, I never knew that until this trip.
Yeah, they're hardcore. They refuse to wear masks. They're partying in the pubs. They're doing everything. They're like, this doesn't really exist. They're like, it's
like a nation of QAnoners, basically. They're just...
Yeah, exactly.
And if you say anything to them, which of course I did, because I call myself the good Karen. I fight. I use my privilege for good. They didn't love that, Bevy. Like, I wasn't making friends. Yeah.
No, they didn't love that. But also, it's like one of those things where, like, I'm literally not going to Atlanta because I'm going to have something to say. So try not to put yourself in places where you're going to have to be kind of Karen, because, these people are going to do what they want to do. And then we come off looking like the poison pills.
Without a question. And I sort of didn't have a choice to go, but I absolutely agree. And I did. That's true. And I did. I will add, I recognize that I was in their land. So if I got it, I'm like, well, you're the dumb fuck who's here. So you can't blame them if you're in their dumb fuck land for what happens to you. So you're absolutely right. But I still have to say some shit. And that is why I get into problems, Bevy.
But that's also why you are a talk show host personified, because you have an opinion and you're going to voice it.
It's true. And I love to get myself into things. I do. And then
like a good pickle.
Slowly just extricate myself in such a way. And that's the story. So happy birthday to your lovely mom. How's your family doing? I know that you have had an extremely, really a traumatic year. Let's call it what it is. Yeah. How's everyone doing? And tell people about kind of what
everybody's doing good. My dad passed away from complications of COVID in April. And
how old is he?
He was 95.
God bless, but still, that's
yes,
the nightmare.
God bless. Mm-hmm. And my sister pointed out to me, he was 95. He had led a really great life. The last year of his life, we had really spoiled him. We were taking him everywhere and doing all kinds of things with him and everything. So, yes, we miss him. My thing is like, we didn't see him for the last month of his life because he was in a rehab nursing facility.
Right.
And so they closed us off. And so for that, that he died on April 11th, I think they closed down everything March 11th. So we weren't with him for the last month of his life, which was really tough. But, he knew that we loved him. I know that much because we were there every single day to see our papa. So.
Yeah, of course. I mean, from everything that I've been hearing, just from so many people who have lost loved ones, especially elderly ones, I know that they had systems in place with like iPads. Like, they tried to connect people digitally, but it's just not the same. I mean, just to be able to hold the hand of the person that you love and who raised you. I mean, the level of trauma, I think, that is just happened this past year for now relatives of almost 400,000 people in this country alone cannot be emphasized enough, really. And it does seem like we're forgetting that a bit,
Yeah. And I also think that people have to understand that we haven't processed that yet. And I don't know when we as a country will process it because we're still in the middle of it. So it's very hard to process something if you're still fighting the battle, And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out years on down the line. But one with, people who survived it, like I survived it, I have no complications, no lingering effects.
Thank God, yeah.
So it seems, but who knows,
When did you have it?
I was like an early adapter. I got
really?
it like
Bevy.
I was so on trend. I set the trend. I got it like maybe March 11th, March 12th.
Okay, so hold on a second, because that I'm convinced that I had it via your boss, Andy Cohen. Although it's not unfair of me to point a finger at Andy. It's possible that Andy, me, John Hale, all of us got it the same night because we were all at that performance at John's show. And I'll be honest with you, Bevy.
Are you serious?
Yes. March 11th, that was a Wednesday. We were at Feinstein's 54 Below.
Yes.
And I mean, I remember.
It's below, which isn't good. No ventilation.
Oh, we were below. I mean, I remember seeing Andy Cohen's droplets like entering my mouth with bindles, like they were parking themselves, in my lungs. And then, of course, a couple days later, both John and Andy tested positive, and I couldn't get a test. Like, I kept calling. I don't know if you had that experience too, but I called the Department of Health.
I had to pull some strings.
Did you? See, I wish I had strings. Where do I find strings?
You have strings, Michelle. You just don't use them.
No, I don't have strings.
Well, baby, you do. Okay? So we're not going to get into that whole thing. Yes, of course. You have the strings.
I didn't want to reach out to Andy, obviously. I don't know. I need better strings. How do our listeners get better strings? You're good at that.
Well, I mean, you have strings because you have a media outlet. So there are 1 million people that listen to you that are medical professionals.
That's true.
And you could have simply put out an SOS and someone would have contacted you in your DM and said, listen, I have a private practice in blah, blah, blah. If you can make your way over here, I'll give you a test. That's literally what I did.
See, it's funny because I think that I did bring up on the show, I did not feel, and I don't know if you had or how you felt. Did you have fever? Like, did you get all the classic symptoms?
No, I got this, again, an early adapter, because when I got sick, it was all about the fever. Yeah. But I was one of the early adapters who got the diarrhea.
Wow.
So I was very on trend. Also, what else did I get? I was like ahead of the curve. What else did I get? I was one of the first people to get the no taste, no smell.
Oh.
Thank God it only lasted 2 days.
Can I tell you something? You had my dream corona. I've always said I'll tell you what happened to me and why I think I had it. But I've said if I had to have it, I don't want the coughing version. I want the stop eating diarrhea your brains out version because I want to look hot post COVID.
You'll be svelte.
Svelte.
Yes, you want to be svelte.
I don't mind a bout of diarrhea. Is that okay to say? Yeah. Are we leaving this in?
No,
I think we should.
We can say that. I think we're living in our truth, and I think it's fine.
I'm sorry that you had it though. And the non-tasting thing, that's how whenever I think I do have it, I immediately eat an olive because I'm like, if I can taste this olive, I know that I'm safe, I just had body chills and I had fever for a day, but I tell everybody that it felt like my body was plugged into an electrical socket. Like I felt a buzz that I've never experienced before in my life. And I'm convinced that it was some sort of, I think it was my body fighting it off is what I think happened. Yeah.
I was actually sick for 10 days. But I did my show the entire time.
Wow.
Because I needed to do my show. Because I was alone and doing the show gave me a sense of normalcy. And it also connected me with the outside world. And so it was very helpful for me mentally to do it. But towards the end, I wasn't able to talk for long periods of time. So I had my producer, Andrea, actually start booking us 2 guests on every show. Before it would be like 1 guest. And we started booking 2 guests because I could not speak for long periods of time. So it would be like, child, let me rest my voice and let me rest my nerves. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how we did
I would
that.
just be like, so tell me about yourself and then sit back. Cause you say to an actor, you're there for like 45 minutes basically.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. The interviewing over Zoom or for Sirius, I do it via phone because it's so early that I look like, I don't even know. I'm trying like Val Kilmer. Like I just don't look great, but I have a liner on for you and you're very glamorous, Bevy. So I really got to look together for you today, but yeah, I don't love the Zoom interviews. It really, I think for what we do for a living, this has really affected kind of the art of the talk show because there's a delay. People can't feel your charm in the same way that they would in person. I think especially for people, for you especially, because you're so warm and engaging that, have you found it difficult to kind of keep up like the same energy over the phone?
Yeah. And I don't even do Zoom at Bevelations.
How do you do? Just phone calls?
Just phone calls. Cause it's 11 a.m. I don't want to get gussied up. Well, I'm not going to do it. So yeah, it is I'm just not going to do it. So it is a little difficult. I've gotten used to it though, but I'll be happy when we can actually go back in, but I don't know when I'll feel comfortable going back into a fishbowl that's hermetically sealed.
Can you imagine? I don't think it's going to be until, if we're lucky, in the fall.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah, no, certainly. Yeah. I was thinking more like 2022, but yeah.
I just feel like God has truly punished me because I really look good right now and like no one can see me. It's really funny. Right. It's ironic that like finally I got my shit together and genuinely my super is like one of the few people who knows. And that just hurts.
It does hurt. But I will tell you, why don't you just go on the computer and let the people see you? Well,
I'm here now on the show. It's too early. I genuinely, if I put a bra on in the morning, the listeners know. They DM, they go, bra today? I go, yes. They know because I'm like perkier
Thank you
when
for
I have
noticing. Yeah. No, but you should, I'm saying, why don't you go live? Why don't you go outside and talk to the people? And let the people see how good you look.
I know, you're right.
Don't waste it.
I'm weird about like lives and things like that. I get a little, I don't know. I'm private sometimes, like even with like cameos. I don't know. For sometimes I'm just like not in the mood to do them because it takes a lot of energy out of me to do it. And I just, I'm an asshole is what I'm trying to say.
Right. You're like,
no.
I know you wanted me to say happy birthday to your cousin, but I don't feel like it.
Yeah. And it's like free money they're handing me. And I'm like, I don't know. Like money doesn't motivate me. I'm motivated by just like energies, like there's my energy there. You and I share a common love of we love to shop. And if I'm not mistaken, we love a bargain, Bevy Smith.
Yes.
Am I right?
I do. Who doesn't love a bargain?
Have you found during pandemic, how has your online shopping been? Like, are you buying more or less?
I'm doing no online shopping.
No, you're kidding.
For what? I mean, where are we going?
Talk to me. Teach me to be like you. Teach me to be like you.
Where are we going? Now, I bought clothes for the launch, because I'm doing a lot of TV, but otherwise, forget about it. What do I need clothes for? I have a huge closet filled with nice clothes. I'm not buying anything new. And certainly not shoes, because,
where are you walking?
Who's going to see them?
That's right.
Yeah.
This is why you have to read Bevelations, because every time I talk to you, I really mean it. You are like, you don't call yourself a life coach, but I do feel like you have life coach tendencies, and not in the bad way, you know, the annoying way, in a way where it's like, you could be a guru. You could teach women how to love themselves. I mean, this is the book. Hold it up.
This is the book.
Bevelations.
This is what the book is about. It's literally that. Thank you for saying it. Because it's literally, the reason why the title is Bevelations, Lessons from a Mother. Mother comes from the title, the honorific that was given to me by my former co-host on the Fashion Queens, Derek J. and Miss Lawrence. And now all types of young Black gay men call me mother when they see me. I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy being mother. Now, the auntie part comes from all the young women that have seen me on TV and think of me as their cool auntie or their rich auntie or their bougie auntie. And by young, I mean you have to be under the age of 40 to call me auntie. Okay.
Thank you, by the way. So
then
sweet.
we move
39.
into... Right. Okay,
Just made it.
It's really under 35. It's really under 35.
What? You know what? We were so close. Okay,
We were
go on.
so
Go on.
close, okay?
Yeah.
And then the bestie part. Now here comes the bestie, or you could be a little sister. The bestie part comes from women that are grown-ups. You know, you're grown, you're over 35, you've lived a little, you've maybe had a couple of, as I like to call, fucks and fumbles. And now me and you, we can sit down over a meal, over a cocktail. We can take a trip together. That's what I get from people that watch me over the years on TV that are in my age group or close enough to it. And they feel like I'm their best friend in their head, to use a trope.
To use the Wendy trope, which I get that all the time. People are always like, you're the best friend in my head. I'm like, get it checked out. We don't know each other.
Right,
you know,
exactly,
I love it.
exactly.
It's a blessing, but are you okay? That's what I like to say.
Are you okay? And so that's what happened. So I wrote down all the lessons that I've learned over the years about how I changed my life and how I manifested all of these things that I wanted when I was 38 years old, and I decided to quit Rolling Stone magazine to pursue a life as a media personality. And it actually worked.
I want to talk to you in depth about all of this. And I think we should do it on part 2. Because we're not going to have enough time, and I have so many questions about just your incredible life story, and why I'm 39. That's the first question. Why am I 39? We'll talk about it in then part 2. But listen, you have a couple days now to get ahead of us. Go buy Bevy's book. Amazon can have it to you in 2 hours. Bevelations, Lessons from a Mother, Auntie, Bestie. It's out today. You have no excuse. Bevy Smith is genuinely one of the most enlightening, phenomenal, brilliant women I know. I've just always adored you so much. It's really true. Follow her on Twitter and Instagram at Bevy Smith. Listen to her on SiriusXM Radio Andy, 5 p.m. every day. And we'll be back part 2. We're going to talk, Bevy, I want to hear about you. I want to talk to you. We'll see you Thursday. All right.
See you Thursday.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Midnight Snack with Michelle Collins is executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. Produced by Tracy Soren. Original theme music by Gabe Lopez. Cover art by Ben Wiseman. To listen to this podcast ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcasts.com/plus. Check out video clips of our podcasts on YouTube at youtube.com/foreverdogteam. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Forever Dog Team to keep up with all the latest Forever Dog news. News.